If you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked.
Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to another reading of the Tao Te Ching. Just a brief update on what we're talking about here. The Tao Te Ching, if you're unfamiliar, is a classic ancient Chinese philosophical text. Various people have come up with ideas of when it was written, who it was written by. So we're not even really going to get into that. There's plenty of stuff online if you want to go down those rabbit holes of learning about the actual origins of this text, but what we are here to do is to just read some and interpret them through our lens and try to start some engagement. And hopefully, you guys resonate with whatever we're saying. And we'd love to hear what you have to say today. My name is Mark.
And I am Adam, and today we'll read 22. If you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. The master, by residing in the Tao, sets an example for all beings. Because he doesn't display himself, people can see his light. Because he has nothing to prove, people can trust his words. Because he doesn't know who he is, people recognize themselves in him. Because he has no goal in mind, everything he does succeeds. When the ancient masters said, if you want to be given everything, give everything up, they weren't using empty phrases. Only in being lived by the Tao can you be truly yourself. Dang, I'm going to say that last one. Only in being lived by the Tao can you be truly yourself.
Mm, yeah, so I have a slightly different version, and then it's more feminine in nature, but it's all saying the same kind of things, which is a lot of things happening here. Anything come to mind first for you?
I mean, this is just dope. I mean, it's funny. I think it's interesting. I can't help because I grew up in a Christian context, but like think of Jesus where like he says if you want to be given everything, give everything up. It feels very aligned with a lot of Jesus's teachings, at least coming from like the gospel narratives. And it's so funny to like see but to see this extra added to it, where it's like this idea of sort of like the Tao, however you want to define the Tao, which can't be defined according to the first, um, but that is living through you, and through that living alignment, like you already have everything, so you might as well give everything else up that's just like actually saddling you
Mm.
from being your full self. Like this feels like it adds a lot more context and a little more like specificity as to like maybe why Jesus was teaching that. For me, at least. That's just coming from my like Catholic upbringing.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I definitely see the notions of being humble, the humility of,
Hmm.
especially in the line, where is it about boasting or, yeah, because she does not boast of herself, she becomes a shining example.
Mm-hmm.
So finding that humility, that humbleness, that just being your authentic self
Yes.
is actually what resonates with people and radiates out of you and resonates with people more than putting on that facade of who you think you should be or idolizing something else. And
Yeah.
also the because she does not glorify herself, she becomes a person of merit. So there's that
Mm.
whole ego concept of why do something? What is the core root of why you're doing something? Is it to just be helpful, to be friendly, to be courteous and kind? Or is it to say that you did it, to try to elevate your persona in other people's eyes?
Mm.
So the
Yeah.
more you release that and relinquish that, for lack of a better term, ego, you can actually bring through a more authentic self that
Yes.
people, whether they want to admit it or not, really resonate with that more. And
Yeah.
especially, I feel like that is changing these days with the whole model of social media and the way that's worked for so many years of putting on this facade and saying,
Yeah.
this is my life. This is how cool I am. This is where I'm going.
Yeah.
And it's all just filtered essentially. Whereas if you're just more raw and more authentic, people are like, yes, I get you now. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So that is leading by example, ultimately.
Yes. Yes. And I'm like, in my translation, I'm really stuck on like the way that that first section just keeps saying, let yourself, let
Mm,
yourself, let yourself, let
yep.
yourself. And they're always like, in our kind of common understanding, like in our culture, negative, right? Like, let yourself be partial, let yourself be crooked, be empty,
Hmm.
die, right? Where it's like, it's actually letting yourself be out
Yourself.
expressed, right? And like you said, like this sort of like buttoning up, I feel like it happens, at least for me, like coming from a very like polite sort of white middle class sort of culture upbringing where politeness is like some sort of like vaulted virtue, whereas what it really
Mm,
does is prevent you from like being a full actuated self, right? It's just you're putting on a facade, a show to keep the sort of
hmm.
social graces flowing, and that doesn't let the actual person come through. It lets whatever this thing comes through. And I love that he says also, um, where he says, because he doesn't know who he is, people recognize themselves in him. And I feel like
Mm,
that's a little scary to the modern reader. Even to me, it was sort of like, I don't know who I am. Like, oh my gosh, I don't want to lose my sense of self. And it's like, actually, it is a deeper sense of self that is way more all encompassing
mm.
that's there for you if you allow it to come forward, if you let yourself. Whew.
You know what word resonates with me a lot into that concept is surrender.
Yes, yes,
Surrender is a big
yes,
word that is misconstrued in a lot of ways and
yeah,
is often tied to fear,
yeah.
giving up. And it's actually more about liberation,
Mm-hmm.
liberating yourself. In fact, I have my little coffee mug here that says, I am liberating my imprisoned splendor.
Ooh.
That is the affirmation of
Mm.
origin flow. So liberating, we have splendor within us, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we keep inside for various reasons, social conditioning,
Mm-hmm.
fear of familial situations or socioeconomic statuses, racial statuses, gender, all these
Mm-hmm.
things that we keep locked inside. But when we radiate that out, we become
Mm-hmm.
free of these norms, of these societal norms that we think are the way,
Mm.
but the real way, the Tao, the way is the natural flow. If we could all
Mm-hmm.
just be ourselves more, who we are
Mm-hmm.
authentically, uniquely to ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
the more flow we can all find with each other.
Mm. Beautiful.
Mm,
Those are
mm.
those. I had this. I don't know how else to accentuate other than that.
Mm-mm.
It's just too splendorous for my for
Well,
words.
exactly. Well, hopefully some of that resonated with you all. We'd love to hear what you think. Pop it in the comments what you think, and we'd love to start a little conversation and dialogue. Until then, be well and keep on flowing.